Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to pYanodon's. In our last episode, we got batteries, which felt so good, and now we are working on some train stuff, because we are, well, basically there. We're going to be designing our rail blocks in this episode, and like I said before, we're not going to be doing exactly city blocks, but it will be close-ish to city blocks. They're going to be more of a modular shape design, which kind of allows you to do whatever you want, and I tend to like that. So it won't be a perfect grid, but it will be, you know, cuboid or rectangular in some fashion. Right now I'm trying to figure out what to do with the ash that we're going to have here. Let's see, let's do this, and whitelist ash. I still need to add the tweak to my Krydax's pYanodon's tweaks that reorders barrels to be after everything. Would be a very nice quality of life thing for me to do for myself. I don't know how to do it though, I need to figure that out. But ash needs to come down here. So I guess we'll do this and this. Okay, so that should get rid of the ash, and then finally we place the results, and there we go. What are these stacked to? These stack to 50, so I do think 600 is not crazy. Just to make sure we have enough. Rename barrel to tub. Yes, exactly. They won't be spaghetti rails, Apophenia. They are still going to be cardinal directions. Is there a known way to make all recipes no longer have a new notification? Yeah, there's a setting for it in the interface. Where are you? It's somewhere in here. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in here, right? Show all items, no. Because I know I've turned it off. Maybe it's recipe notifications. That might be the one. Because I don't have that anymore. I find that very annoying too. So I removed it. Anyway, this should be good to go for signals. We have train stops, we have signals, and we have rails. I think that's all we need. We talked a little bit in the last episode about the rail design, and I played around in the editor a little bit, kind of trying to iron out whether I want 1-2s or 1-1s. By that, I mean, did I make the... No, I made one, but it's down there. 1-2s is when you have a locomotive and then 2 cargo wagons, whereas 1-1 is just a locomotive and a cargo wagon. And I've decided I am going to do 1-1s. Just because they're so much smaller and zippier. The speed isn't that big of a deal, but more the length of them allows you to build a much smaller rail network to house all of them and to move all of them around. They don't get in each other's way for as long, and so throughput can be a bit higher. Throughput in terms of quantity of trains. I realize that throughput in terms of quantity of items actually goes down a little bit. I don't think that'll be a big deal. And you guys are saying, I assume that's French. I don't know what that means. I probably should. Probably something like hello or how are you doing or something. But that's not one of the sayings I know. I'll just say oui oui and hope that it's the right answer. Anyway. We need to figure out a couple small things. We did, let's see, where did it go? Shift B. Yeah, so this is going to be the general shape. And let me at least go over to the editor. This was me experimenting with 1-1s versus 1-2s. 1-2s would be about this big. And 1-1s are only this big. And that's a pretty big difference. I don't think it's worth it. given that if I need more stuff, I can just send more 1-1s. And a lot of trains are not going to need to be 1-2s anyway. The other thing I was trying to figure out is how do I want this spacing? Right now there's a 6 spacing, there's 6 tiles between each rail, and I wasn't sure if we were going to need 8. I think in most cases we're not going to need more than 6 because we can easily get 6 outputs. And I could technically get more if I want to go into the next rail block, which might only have like 1 output or something. So given that we can get 6 without any changes, I think it's fine. And if I ever need more, I can always just remove one of these lines. And now we have plenty of room for more outputs, and we can just, you know, completely cover this thing in loaders. So there's a lot of options for that. So I think the 6 spacing is fine. And then the only other thing we need to iron out is the signals along the tracks. And so we are going to mess with this, I think, in editor mode, just because it's easier to design. And then we'll use the blueprint in the real world. So let's start with the basic blueprint. Ah, yes, Rayclaw, we will get your name in game, don't worry. Maybe your name can go in the first rail block. That would be exciting. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one here. And I will, let's see, remove the editor things. And I'll start by, what am I gonna do? First, let's figure out the corner here. Now, I know some people would say they're worried about this because this doesn't have room in front of it for here. I don't remember if we explained this in the last episode or not. The reason this is okay is because all of the stations have a train limit of 2. It doesn't matter, because if there's one train here and one train here, there will always be room for the third train. And you might be like, well, but if the train limit's 2, there won't be a third train. However, there could be a third train, because once this train is leaving, its little train butt could still be sticking into this block. And then this block is occupied by a train that isn't counting towards the train limit. Funnily enough, this is actually a change in Factorio 2.0 that's coming, because it can cause issues, right? Because I'd prefer to have this train limit be 3, because technically we can fit 3 trains. But the problem is, if this train was waiting to leave and it wasn't able to fully leave, then it's still taking up one of the blocks. I do think, we were talking about this, I think it was Aelor was mentioning, and I was thinking about adding more signals like this to allow for a bit more flexibility in terms of, like, you know, a train back here could be waiting all the way. You know, it could come out and get to here if this train's waiting to go in. And I was thinking, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think I've decided it's actually fine, because the only time the train limit gets screwed up is if the train butt is sticking into this. And then we have the third section. So I think as long as we set the train limit to 2 for all of these, there will never be any issues. So that's good. Oh yeah, trains in 2.0 are going to be so spicy. Anyway, that's why this chain signal is fine. I don't even know if I need this chain signal. Is it even doing anything? I guess it is, because as soon as the train butt passes this chain signal, then another train can go straight. And it might take a little while to get over to this one. Can I prevent what easily? Sorry, Wascally, I'm not sure what you're referring to. And then as far as by making the train section in front of the station big enough for a train and nothing more. Yeah, it could work, but then I would need more space in front of each individual what are these called? Station. I would need enough space for an entire train in front of each station, but then even then it wouldn't work, because let's say, so yeah, it actually wouldn't work. It'll never work. Because let's say there was room for one train in front, and the train was here, and it fit entirely in front of this signal. Well, then the train limit's still 2, And now I need to put locomotives in my inventory rather than using stupid items to make do. Okay, so let's say it was like this. This train's completely out of the block. Well, now the train limit's 2, right? So there'll be a train here, and then a second train could line up. We're going worst case scenario here. Let's say there's a lot of traffic or something. So then that train's there. It's waiting to leave because there's one out here. There's a train here. It finishes unloading. Well, now this train is officially no longer counting towards the train limit. It's not at the stop anymore. It's moved forward to wait at this rail stop. Now the train limit is only using one of its 2 slots. So then it will send a third train to here. And it will be fine because the train limit was 2. But if the train limit was 3, you could see we'd run into a problem again. Because no matter what, it could always back up to this signal. Why is it moving at all? Because it's done at the station. It won't, as soon as it's done emptying, it stops counting towards the train limit. That's how it works right now. In 2.0, that'll change. It will, there is space in front of it. There's literally one tile here. Currently it's stopped at this tile, and it will go forwards to that tile and wait. And even if it didn't, even if you had somehow the signal was here stopping this train, I don't even know if you can do it that way. But even if it was stopped on the same tile, it's still, the moment it's done, the moment it leaves the station, like as far as the station is concerned, then it stops counting towards the train limit. And so you do have to have one extra space on the back for the train limit to not get overcome. It doesn't matter how many spaces you put in front of it, because it can't know how many spaces are in front of it. Now, I did consider some weirdness, like, okay, if this block is open, should I add a signal? No, actually, this has nothing to do with LTN. This would be the same problem in vanilla. This is definitely default behavior. It just often doesn't cause problems because it would require a very specific setup to cause problems. And more, it would require an absurd situation that can only happen when it can only happen if you have a huge amount of trains in the network. So most people never could run into it, because the only way you'd run into it is if the extra train got here and the first train somehow never had a minute in that 30 seconds or whatever for the third train to arrive. The leaving train never even had an opportunity to escape out. And if you have a decently designed network, that's realistically not going to happen. Like, I'm solving a problem that realistically is never going to happen anyway, but just there are these crazy edge cases that you could imagine, like if there were 30 trains on this straightaway and the extra train somehow needed to get here. I'm just solving that edge case so that we can't possibly deadlock. Is the rail station after, or is the signal after the station needed? Yeah, because if I don't put that there, then it has to clear all the way out here before the block is open again. In which case, we're kind of doing the same thing that we're already doing. Because even if I were to do this, or, well, I can't do that. I would have to put some sort of station. Otherwise, all the rail stations would be the same color, which is definitely bad. So there has to be some sort of signal after the stations. And then it doesn't really solve any problems for the same reason. So, yeah, it's essentially the problem is created because the moment a train leaves the station, it forgets about it. The train limit forgets that that train exists. And it really should be, and it will be, in Factorio 2.0, that the train has to clear the block before this forgets about it. Right now, it forgets about it the second it leaves that square. So anyway, that's a very in-depth explanation that half of you didn't even want, but, you know, here you are. I think, yeah, we'll do that. Does that help at all? I don't think that actually does anything. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. But I think it looks nice, so I'm going to add it in anyway. Because it's just nice and symmetrical then. Anywho, that should work. All the stations need to be set to 2. I'm probably going to do less stations than this for the default. And we're going to need all sorts of blueprints, and I'm going to use blueprint variables to make my life even easier. But we're just getting started with things here. So then what we want is some signals here, such that they can fit a couple trains before the stop. Okay, so where do we put... I wish you could, like, keep the ghost trains from that signal sitting there. It's kind of annoying that you can't. Is that the right spot? You can't tell until you mouse back over it. Okay, there we go. So there's space for 1 train. And I'm just eyeballing it here. I think I actually nailed it. Nope, I was 1 tile off, I think. Yeah, I was 1 tile off. Pretty good, though. Okay, space for 2 trains. And then I might... Let's see, is that... There we go. That one work? That one works. Okay. We can fit 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I will. I only needed to do a couple, so I was just manually doing it. You know, when you stream stuff on Twitch, every little thing you do gets questioned, even if it, well, especially if it doesn't make sense. Even if you know in your head, like, this isn't the best way to do it, still gets questioned because people can't read your mind. Anyway. Let's see. So I'm pretty sure the intersection is fine. It's not the best intersection on the planet, but I wanted one that doesn't take a ton of space in the corners. And this one's pretty good at that. You know, and the crossings are all separate from each other. The other nice thing is left turns don't interfere with each other. So if a train's turning left from above here and a train's turning left from here, they won't have to wait for each other, which is a nice bonus. A lot of intersections, a left turn will interfere with the other one turning left. And right turns obviously don't interfere with each other. A right turn doesn't interfere with a left turn. So that's pretty good. You have a 192 by 192 intersection? That's absurd. How big is this? This is, I don't know where exactly you count the corners to be, but this is like 32 by 32. Ooh, that's a nice number, 32 by 32. Okay, and then what we need to do is copy these signals into the other corners so that we have the same signals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all the signals up to the intersection because I want to be able to paste the stations into my build. Let me just make sure there's no extra signals. I think we're good. So I essentially want the same signals to be in the same places already so that we don't have to change anything. The goal here is the most ease of use possible. So we're going to paste that. And now those are the same signals we need for stations. And I can just remove these guys. And then we can just paste the station over that. Boom. Oh yeah, the other thing someone had mentioned is why don't we have a left turn out of the station? And I think that was actually a good idea. My original goal, just so you can at least know my thinking, was that right turns, you basically never have to wait. It's very rare you'd have to wait for a right turn. And so then we're clearing the stations faster. But honestly, this is still going to clear it really fast. The blocks are going to be variable sized. And so what we're essentially going to do is we're going to split this down the middle. And that's where we can attach different blocks. So if I want, for example, a straight block, it'll be the half of, it'll be this half plus the intersection plus another half. will kind of be what we attach. And so it'll be in the middle that we're gonna have to think about where we split it. Okay, now how do I do this? I guess we should put chain there, regular out, chain here, and then this isn't right anymore. And then a chain there, there. No, we can do a regular here still. And then it'll wait here until it can get into this block, which is correct. Or it'll wait here until it can get into that block, which is correct, because then we can still go in front of it. Okay. Now let's figure out the exit spacing on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we remove, or this one has to go further forward. Okay, I think that does it. Wait here, fit into there. Wait here, fit into this. Wait here, fit into this. Those are the only options. Or you'll just be sitting here, and then you go there. Perfect. Okay, so that works. The nice thing is it's expandable without changing any of the intersections, right? I can just paste more stations onto this without needing to change anything about the intersections. Eventually, I've gone too far and I might run into, you know, depending on how I've copied them, you know, I could run into the other one, but that would require an absurd amount of stations. So that's how I wanted to build this. Is much more flexible that way. And we're still not to the halfway point, which is good. We'll deal with the halfway point stuff eventually. Okay, let's get Rayclaw's name in game. Let's get that redemption done real quick. Snapping on? What even is Shift V? I have no idea what I'm enabling or disabling. But we're definitely gonna fit some rail stuff up here. And so why don't we put Rayclaw's name up here? And maybe this will be kind of where the trains really start. Ray 1 Claw. W is always a little difficult. But that worked out. I think that's pretty good. It looks... I don't know. I can never tell with the W if it's better like this. Is that better? That might be better. Alright, we'll do that. Ooh, Demon Ante as well. Or it's, yeah, DEA. Ah! I've gotten a lot faster at this, that's for sure. That is a long name, I just realized. Alright, there we go. Bam. 2 for the price of 1. Well, it was for the price of 2, I guess. But yeah, we'll put our first block over here. So back to the block making. I'm trying to think ahead, probably a little bit too much. Okay, so we want all of these signals now to be on each intersection. But what I don't need is the ones that are... Wait a second, this doesn't seem right. Hold on, what did I do here? What? Oh, were there some extra signals messing me up there? Ah! Control V and Control B are very close together. Yeah, there we go, okay. So then I can just remove these rails and the signals attached to these rails. Now that one's a little weird, but it's fine. You know, it'll just mean that I can fit one train here and the other one way back here, but you know, they're 1-1 trains. Like how many spacings am I really gonna need? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Okay, let me remove these because these are not proper yet. Actually, I do need the one in front of this to be proper. Boom. All right. So those are good. And that would allow for me to paste my station stuff, you know, onto it, and it would all fit properly. Can't think of any changes we need to make. Okay, let's measure the halfway point. We'll start from one corner to the next. 240 by 240. Subgrid mode, split mode, number of splits. Let's see. Let's do 4 or even 6, so we can do half or thirds if we want. Oh, this is where tape line really shines. We can see the exact halfway point for grid stuff. And so we're actually going to have the block look like this, which is kind of weird, but what we're going to do. Rather than normally a block is like this, but we're going to center our blocks on the intersection. And that way we can more easily combine different types of blocks together. So that being said, we just need to make sure the different types of blocks fit together properly at the cut point. Which we will do. We'll get there. Okay, first thing I want to do is copy the signals. Let's see, can I fit another one back here across from that? That's a nice 2 space. Yeah. Okay, so I've gone to the second line with my signaling. Let's do the same thing on the incoming, or no, how should I do this? Because this is both entrance and exit. So I just need to copy this all 4 directions is what we need to do. Oh, wait. I've screwed this up already. Because the entrance to this is the entrance to the other ones, but the exit here is also the exit here. So we need to copy whatever I do here in this corner rotationally into this corner, because there could be another block system over here. We can remove this part. for now. Actually, we'll just leave it just for visual sake. So now I need to work my way forwards from this guy. Wait, what did I do wrong? Why are those flashing? The heck? That's weird. These don't have rotations, do they? Oh, they do? They just always snap to the correct one, but if you rotate it and then place it backwards, it's so weird. Like, it can be the wrong direction. Huh, I didn't even know that was possible until this very moment. You know, the number of things you learn when you play Factorio, it really is astounding. Okay. And then finally we need one for that. And then one more. Boom. Yes, it's only possible if copy pasted. Or potentially possible with a blueprinted one. Or is it literally just copy paste, which is slightly different than blueprinting? Are these going to interfere with each other somehow? I really haven't done the proper amount of research here. So let's paste all four just to double check. Seems pretty solid to me. So I think we're okay. I hope we're okay. Ah! I don't know why. Sometimes it yells at me. It always scares me. All right. I'm gonna copy that real quick off to the side, just so I have it for future pasting back in. What's up, Joe? Welcome, welcome. So remove that. Remove this. Perfect. So I should be able to now copy the signaling onto all four. Ah, that's in the way, of course. Too close, my friend. Go over there. And just to avoid copying the wrong thing, let's delete all this. All right. Would this not lead to a lot of traffic at the junction? I mean, it shouldn't. They're really short trains, and they're all going to be moving quickly. To be honest, I'm probably doing overkill on the number of signals. Because the more signals allows more trains to be waiting, and it actually creates less traffic, not more. Because it allows trains to start moving more quickly once the next one's little train butt has cleared the previous signal. So the more signals you have, it technically increases throughput. It's a very small effect. But it does add up eventually. Now I did copy this one to here, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is the same. So I should be able to do this, go all the way down, copy that 4 ways. And now we have what we need, both into and out of, based on the rail, the station blocks. And then, do I add like one more signal on each end? Or do I just leave this kind of gap in the middle? I mean, I think I add one more. I'm always gonna be connecting straight rails to straight rails. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. Ugh. I don't know why, but this is scary. Is that too close? What? That does not seem right to me, but that's technically fine. Because with all these other ones, you can see the back of the train is in front of, but on these ones, the back of the train is on. Oh. Oh no, these are not spaced properly. That one was correct. That one's correct. But up here, what just happened? Am I taking crazy pills? I have no idea. Okay. Just to keep it more symmetrical, I'm gonna keep that one square offset from this one. And I could do one more before the midline. And now if I rotate this around the midline, do we have issues? Or does it work? Why is there a gap there? Oh, because these aren't lined up. Symmetry is hard. Okay, I think we did it though. Does anything not line up? Do we see any red dots anywhere? It's really hard with the signals to even see if there's red dots, to be honest. But it looks like they're all lining up, even if I rotate. Which is good news. Okay. So, that's good. That's very good. Das gut. And now I can take this and paste it in all 4 directions. Oh god. Oh no. Why did it say rail signals in the way? Should not be saying that. No! Oh no. Now we've done it. Rail chain signals in the way. Which one? Will map view help me? Map view might help me. We need a radar. Give me one of those ultra radars. Where are you at? Okay. What is not lining up? The chain signal exiting the top right? That's a weird thing to not line up. Did I move that one? That signal? These look like they're in the same place. So this isn't lining up with this? Those all seem to line up though. But it's saying this one isn't. That lines up too. Hold on. It's definitely this signal. I screwed something up somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's just the wrong signal. That's supposed to be a chain. Okay. Well, that makes me feel better. Whew. I was scared for a second. We had really jacked something up. That's just the wrong signal over on the outside of that intersection. Okay. So now that should fix it. And then that, we just need to fix it. Okay, exit, normal, exit, normal, exit, normal, exit, normal. And then let's get rid of that. And then copy this again. And now I should be able to rotate. Yeah, and it clicks. So rotation doesn't matter, which feels so good. And yes, I'm aware we don't have any like robo ports or power poles or anything in it right now, and we'll have to add those in. But we're starting with just the rails themselves. And then we can come back to the editor and add power poles and radars and stuff as necessary. Okay, so that's one. Let me move this stuff way over here. That's one block. But then we need to blueprint it like that. And we need the blueprint to be 240 by, or no, it needs to go from middle to middle. And are we doing a 4-space middle? We are. So then the middle, that is kind of annoying. How do I do this again? Maybe it's a little bigger than, yeah, I think I'll make it so it always contains the middle 4 squares. And then we're gonna have to set the size to be 2 smaller, so it kind of hangs over the edge of its own blueprint, so that when I rotate it to place other ones, it works properly. So I go from here to here. All right. I did not do that right. Whoops. What am I doing? Why don't we just include the intersection? Yeah, we'll start at that corner and go to this one. And we'll just have to play with the numbers so that they line up properly. Cut off those little end bits after the signal. All right, that's what we want. Main block, we'll call it for now. We'll rename this. We'll rename all the things eventually. Okay, so how big is this? Wait, I screwed this up. I did exactly what we didn't want to do. We're supposed to be copying this way. Okay, hold on. All right. So we want to copy from here. So essentially we need to be 126.5 times 2. 250, 6.5 makes 13, so 263 by 263. There to there. Did not do that right, I don't think. Because I want that center line to be right in the middle of the intersection. Didn't I go to half and then double it? Shouldn't that have worked? Why did that not work? Maybe I did the math wrong. Let's try this again. Because this is definitely the center of the block. And if I measure to that, it's 126. That makes 250. 252. Plus a half. 253. I don't know where I got 263. My bad. Okay. 253 by 253. So there we go. There's that center line. Perfect. Is that perfect? Oh, no, it's not perfect. No! Wait. How is that not centered? Okay, hold on. This to the middle is exactly 120. So then we need 120 blocks on the other side to here. So I do need to do 252. I think I was adding a half incorrectly. Oh yeah, we need an even number because we want the split to be on the line, not halfway between a line. I was thinking because we had a 4 square section, we needed an odd number for some reason. That's the exact opposite. If you have a 1 square section in the middle, that's, you know, oddly symmetrical rather than evenly symmetrical, then you need an odd number of squares to have the crosshairs in the middle. Joe, you're realizing you need total symmetry now? Yeah, welcome to the club. Somehow it's just way more pleasing to plop down rails when it all fits perfectly together, like Connects or Legos or whatever. Okay, so we just need 252 then. I think we'll be good. 252. 252. Oop. Perfect. Okay, there we go. Nice and middled. And now I should be able to make a blueprint of that. And then that will perfectly give me connectable blocks that I can rotate however I want, and they should paste over each other. Let's find out. New blueprint. This corner to this corner. Boop. What is that? Coal tile? Weird. Okay, well, we're removing that. All right, and then we attempt... So those are actually tiles that are placed? But you can't mine them? It's really weird. I don't know what's going on there. So if I place this and rotate it... Oh, I'm out of my radar range. Place it and rotate it. Do we get any errors? We do... Slightly. Shoot. I went too far on one edge. There's like an extra tile. Can't be having that. Now, which one's the longer one? We're gonna need to delete something here. Okay, measure to the end. We got 127. That's probably the one that's too long. Measure to the end. We got 125. Measure to the end. We got 125. I think that's the end. Yeah. Measure to the end. I haven't been this methodical in a long time. Okay, so those get removed, and these get removed. And then we've got 125 in each direction. Now this is the new blueprint. Boom. Still don't know what's up with the tiles. And now I should be able to delete everything, paste the blueprint, rotate it, paste the blueprint. I'm hitting R and nothing's changing. Yeah. Feels good. Also, I wanted to plan the railway so that they're exactly between two roboports. Yeah, good luck with that. I'm ignoring roboport crap for now. We'll just plop those in as needed. I'd much rather have the rails be nice and symmetrical than roboport shenanigans. Okay, so now what we need to do is align it to a grid. And what we need to do is absolute grid position 126 and 126. And with any amount of luck, these will paste onto each other. I have no idea if it's going to work properly or not. Do they just perfectly connect? It sure looks like it. If I rotate it, they all connect to each other. Any rotation connects to any rotation. It is a little weird because like the mouse isn't in the middle, but you know, you get over it. The mouse ends up in the middle of, you know, one of the blocks. You can see it rotates around that. That's fine because I think it's perfect. And then I can just pasty, and then we've got the blocks. Oh, that feels so good, and they're signaled properly. And then we need our stations, which
Don't think about what comes after or what came before. You just gotta bend your knees, take a deep breath, and jump.
the stations can include some of the rails just so, for easier pasting. But this should be the station rail that could fit onto any of the intersections. Like that. Like that. Oh my god, it works. Oh, it's so good. Okay, and now what we need to do, check this baby out. Okay, what do we got? 252. So now we can align this to 252. Finding the center is going to be a bear. We need the center to be like up there. Negative 100, 140. I don't even know. No, more than that. 160, 180. What's up, Jarl? How's it going? 180 is too much. 166. It's a little too much. 162. We'll try that. And the Y, we need to go down by, I don't know, 8 tiles. That actually looks... I might need to go 2 more over on the right side. We don't want train stop names copied for what it's worth. Haha! Look at it! Look at it go! It's wonderful. Oh my god. I'm just happy about this. I could do this all day. Just look at it. It's just so perfect. Oh look, we have all the stations ever that just fit perfectly into our rail network. I've never made rails this good before. I'm very proud of this. There's probably reasons why it's horrible. You can just keep those to yourself. No, I'm kidding. I like to hear your thoughts. But I'm a fan of this. Now, I will probably delete some of these stations. I don't think having a default of, what even is this? 10? I think a default of 10 is too much. I'll probably default to like 4. And then I'll have a version that's maybe like 10, a version that's more spaced out, a version that's pre-built for fluids, a version that's pre-built for... Yeah, we'll get to all that as we actually play the game. But I think for a core beginning of stations, I think we're okay. I know this doesn't look like a lot of space, Demon, but I'm usually not going to put all 4 in one. Usually I'm only going to have one section of requests. So this is actually a pretty huge area. It doesn't look as huge, but watch this. When I go back to this, you can see that most of my starter base fits in one block. So when you look at it this way, you can appreciate how big these sections actually are. These are massive blocks. The interior space of the block is 240 by 240. Most people build blocks that are like 100 by 100 or less. So these are far bigger than your average city blocks that you see in games. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of space in these, even with how big pie buildings are. So I'm not too worried about that. And because of my modular system, which we still haven't totally finished, we can make double sections, right? And so what we're gonna do next is make like a straight section that doesn't have, you know, because right now this is what we're pasting, but I'm gonna make a section that doesn't have the bits that go down next. So let's actually do that. What's the best way to do that? So I guess what I need to do now is delete. So to make a T section, we need to delete everything that goes down and then copy it. It's kind of interesting. So we'll start by just deleting all this. And then yeah, this is gonna be a little messy, but we'll just do it one piece at a time, so I don't have to remake everything. Okay. There's that. Those are still supposed to be connected. These don't exist anymore. Right, that doesn't exist anymore. Those don't need to exist. Your current blocks in vanilla are 792 by 576? Holy crap. Those are some big blocks. Okay, that's good. Delete these. Delete the unnecessaries. Those are still necessary. And I think we're good. And because we only removed things, everything should still line up. Meaning we could paste a T-junction over this if we wanted to. That's the reason I did it this way. And I didn't move any signals or change any rails, is so that now this still applies perfectly. So now I blueprint again. Okay, blueprint again to here. I don't know. Probably don't want the 422 version, because that's probably getting 2 more rails than we want. In fact, maybe just because last time I had to trim the ends off. Maybe I'll kind of go slightly inside the edge, and that'll make sure we get the right amount, I hope. Yeah, you see it's only 418 rails this time. Okay. So then we snap to grid. What was it? Was it 256 or 252? I can't remember now. It was 252 and then 126. Yeah. Okay. I think that's already correct with a 0 this time. Definitely want entities. Okay, so does this work? No, it's not lined up properly. I need the offset. But it does seem like all the lengths are correct. The offset, 126 by 126. There we go. Now this one's kind of interesting because of the way the corners work. Still think we can make it do whatever we want, right? I'll just have to like move the mouse weirdly. Yeah, I can do a T that way or a T this way. And even just by having a T junction, we can do this. Then I can do this. Oop, I didn't want that one. Undo. Then I can do down. And then the next one can be the, you know, these junctions. And look at that, now we have a double block. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. And then obviously our stations can only go in 4, like I can't put them there. We don't, actually, can I? Hold up. I can't, well, if I had added a little, if the station blueprint included the entire intersection, we could do it this way, I think. But I probably won't generally put them in the middle like that. You know, I'll put them in one of the 4 corners. So if we need extra space, we can do a double block like this. I could even do an L-shaped block. I don't have an L-shaped intersection yet, but you know, I could just delete this. Easy enough. And then we have an L by adding this up here, and this over here. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this system, to be honest. All I've got so far are 3 blueprints, but I think they're pretty damn good blueprints, if I may say so myself. So what we're going to do is name these and put them in a book. And if you would like them for yourself, because I know sometimes y'all do, head over to the Discord and ping me there. I'll try to post them there. What are we doing? pYanodon's Season 2 book. Okay. New book. Rail network. We need a cool word. Rail network. Ultimate. Ultimate rail network. And we'll put a train. Or sorry, a locomotive. Okay, and then these 3. Which is the one we don't need? That one. Okay, so we've got the main block, we've got the main stations, and we've got the T block. Oops, not the T block. I'll add the little T signal. Actually, wait, don't we have the new? No, there's new symbols that they're adding in 2.0, like little shapes. We don't have those yet. Okay. So there's the T block, and this will be a plus picture, which we don't have, so maybe X is the best we can do. There's a plus. Look at that. And then this is 10 stations. And like I said, we'll get more particular with the stations once we start actually playing, but it's a good start. It's easy enough to remove stuff. Sweet. Okay. Well, for those of you on YouTube, I hope this wasn't a terrible episode for you. I know we've spent an hour and 4 minutes doing nothing but planning rails. Some of you probably loved it, and some of you maybe have skipped the whole episode, which is totally fine. But for those of you on YouTube, we'll start building the rails in the next episode, and if you're on Twitch, stick around, we're going to keep streaming. But for you YouTubers, thank you guys for watching. As always, let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one.